Welcome, TBW Clips. I'm Tyson. Today, California and New York, they're raising taxes. A lot of people are leaving. They need to make it up somehow, some way. Let's see what's going on here with these guys.
2023 actually saw tax revenues decline in 40 states. The biggest losers, New York and California. So lawmakers are now considering new wealth taxes. Let's get out to Robert Frank with more. Robert?
Okay, the drop in IPOs and stock sales last year, adding to the fiscal crisis that's emerging in high-tax states. As you mentioned, tax revenue declined in 40 states, with the highest tax states hit hardest. California saw a 25% drop in revenue. That's comparable to the financial crisis and the dot-com bust. The state now faces a $68 billion deficit. That is the largest in California history. New York's tax revenue expected to drop by $10 billion next year. That could lead to a $4 billion deficit, $10 billion the year after that. Both states now battling demands to cut spending or raise taxes. California legislators proposing a wealth tax that would be 1% on total wealth over $50 million and 1.5% on billionaires. New York also looking to tax.
Should we care about this? Because this is about like rich people getting taxed a little bit more. Everything trickles down. They say the trickle down effect doesn't exist. That's not true. Trickle down effect, it happens all the time.
Billionaires on their unrealized capital gains, as well as tax those of their higher incomes, making more than $450,000 a year. Now, already the top 1% pay more than 40% of the income taxes in both states, and some warn of further wealth flight if tax increases go even further. California lost 27,000 tax filers who made over $200,000 back in 2020 and 2021. Meanwhile,
why did they lose so many? People are leaving these states, right? Because of crime and because high taxes. So they're going to raise taxes even more. More people are going to leave, and you're going to have more of a deficit, right? It seems like the math works like that, right?
Florida and Texas, which of course have no income taxes, have seen population gains. So Tyler, there's going to be a lot of pressure as
population gains in Texas and Florida.
Crisis, California, as we see those
Is it because of taxes and stuff like that, or is it because of the policies that are set by the leadership in those cities and states?
Gains dry up, whether to cut spending, they just can't cut that much, or how to raise taxes on the wealthy.
How come they can't cut that much?
California and New York among them have balanced budget requirements?
They absolutely do, and that's where the pressure shows up at the state level, and why we're not going to see much tax action on the federal level, because there's not political will or the unity to do that. But the states, to your point, they have to. And in progressive states like California and New York, there's just not the momentum by the legislature to cut spending as much as they need to. And so
and that's the problem. You got to cut spending. Too much fat. You got so many state employees. The place looks nice in California. I'm originally from California. I recently moved away because of regulations, high taxes, crime, different stuff like that. I stepped away and went to a different state, Texas. I went to Texas.
So because of that balanced budget requirement, they're going to have to raise taxes somehow. And taking the Willie Sutton approach, you go where the money is with the wealthy.
I'm very intrigued by the idea of wealth taxes and how they would work, or whether indeed they are workable at all. But I wonder, talk me through it a little bit. Let's say I have an unrealized gain of $1 million on a stock, and I would be taxed under one of these plans on that unrealized gain. And then the next year, the market tanks, and my unrealized gain goes on that particular stock goes from $1 million to $100,000. I mean, what's the equity in that? In other words, now are you going to give me back some of that tax that I paid you because my
No, you're not getting anything back.
Year before?
You essentially get a loss carry forward. So it's a little bit now where you get investment losses that can offset gains in future years. So in that case, you're right. You would be taxed on the $1 million gain one year. If it fell the next year, you would get a credit that could roll forward for several years. But that's in effect, to your point, lending the government money on an unrealized gain. And so that's one of the challenges. The other big challenge that the states face if they do this, the reason that wealth taxes never worked in Europe is because people just moved from one country to another where they could move more easily. Now, if you do...
And that's it, guys. People don't want to pay more for nothing. People don't want to pay more for nothing. California, New York, you guys have to balance your budget by getting rid of some of the programs you guys have. The wealth tax, I think, is going to drive even more people away. However, I just hope those people who are leaving are not voting the same, because they're going to be in the same predicament that caused them to leave California and New York. So you guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course share this video, and you guys take care.